Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for September 19th. I'm your host, Taran Armstrong, and with me today is nobody. With me today is me. It's just me today. I am here to update you on everything that happened yesterday on the Big Brother 23 live feeds. It was day 74 in the house, and we got our final four veto competition. So we have some veto results. We have some plans for the veto. And we've got some things to discuss, some things to talk about. And we're going to talk about it all here today on the update. If you have some questions at the end of this, we can maybe ask a couple of those, or you can ask a couple of those, and I can answer a couple of those at the end of this podcast. But in the meantime, let's get to it. Xavier is our HOH at the Final Four. He nominated Kyland and Azah for eviction. Then he approached Big D about the possibility of evicting Kyland if Kyland did not win the Final Four veto. Big D was against the idea, but reluctantly seemed to be willing to consider it. And that we have left off from the week as we head into day 74, where they are going to compete in the Final Four veto. Not a whole lot happens prior to the veto competition, but once we do get to the veto competition, feeds come back. And Kyland did not win the power of veto. Xavier won the power of veto. And the feeds come back to a Kyland who is not very happy. He is. Oh man. Oh. He's talking to he's up in the have not room. He's talking to the cameras. He's upset. Oh no, this is the moment everybody warned me about. Oh, I saved Xavier. I saved him. He doesn't have to save me. Because I can get there without him, and then maybe this is a good thing. No, maybe this is a good thing because I can get there without him saving me at all, and I've saved him multiple times. So, I just screwed up that veto. Oh, I rushed it. God, Kyland, you're the first person eliminated from that veto. He was the first person eliminated from the veto. Both Azah and Big D beat him. Ah. Oh man. Xavier comes up to check in on Kyland post veto. Xavier comes up. He's like, hey, I just want to check in with you, Kai. It seems like you're are you feeling okay? I just wanted to say, I don't want to talk about the veto today. We're not going to talk about any veto stuff. We're just going to chill today. It's going to be a good day. We're just not going to talk about the veto. And Kyland's like, oh, yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not okay. I'm just upset. Yeah, I screwed up. This is what everybody's warning me about. I just don't want to be like pushed out and discarded like I was unnecessary. Like it's just a tough spot. Xavier's like, yeah. So anyway, I'll let you get back to your thoughts about all of that, and I'll just and Kylan's like, yeah, I just does it have to be like a conversation for tomorrow? Is that what he's like? Has to be tomorrow. Xavier's like, what do you mean? It just you said you didn't want to talk veto until tomorrow. Oh yeah. No, right. I'm just saying that to everyone. We'll talk for sure. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So I'm just gonna. Yeah, it's just it's like a vulnerable moment. So like I just like reassurances are nice. I feel like I gave you some reassurances sometimes, Xavier, right? So I mean, we can talk later. Dude, just breathe. Just breathe. You'll be fine. We'll talk later. We'll talk. It'll be okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. All right. We're good. Yeah, we'll talk later. Yeah. It's just it's yeah, it's just like what do you said fine. You said I'd be fine. What by fine do you mean like I'm good to get to the final 3? Fine? Yeah. Yep, that's yep. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Okay. Whew, yeah. Sorry, I just, I just yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. I want to respect what you want to do, but okay. So yeah, we'll talk tomorrow. And Xavier's like, okay. So yeah, and I'm not trying to be insensitive or anything, Kai. I'm just, yeah. I wasn't trying to, yeah. It's just, like because I've done so much for you in this game, and I feel like I've done so much in the game that it's kind of just like I took so many people out, and yeah. Look, Kai, nothing I say is gonna matter. Actions will show my true intentions. So we'll just wait until that. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now bye. I'm out. Oh man, was that an awkward conversation? Literally, Xavier was just like trying to bounce the whole time. And I left out like the very long pauses. Like Xavier was like standing there like, please let me go. Please let me go. Please let me go. And Kai would finally be like, yeah, it's just yeah, that just one more thing though. Like he was Columbo or something. So Xavier leaves and Kai's just like, I hate myself right now. Oh boy. So that's how Kylan's day is going. I don't know how your day is going, but it was not great. He's gonna sort of dwell up there for a while. Then they're gonna have dinner. They're gonna kind of like just hang out for a little while as a group, and then Kylan goes off finally, and Big D, Ozza, and Xavier, they're hanging out in the living room. Kylan, yeah, he did do a bit of a bed punch when he came in. One of those like, lost the veto. But Big D, Ozza, and Xavier in the living room are going to be chatting. They're chatting about, there's a lot of chat yesterday about the season as a whole. Talking about what they've done and how they got there. And a lot of revisionist history about how they got there. And Ozza starts sort of like talking about Hannah. She didn't feel bad about evicting Hannah. She was like a robot. Excuse me.
No, I'm not okay with that.
What's your problem with robots, Ozza? Ozza says if Hannah had won, she would have gone home. Plain as day. It would have happened. Hannah would have sent her home. No. She also didn't like the way that Hannah campaigned to her. She felt like she was a very ineffective campaigner. She just wanted to run through scenarios. Like, what do I care about your scenarios? Which was funny. Xavier's like, yeah, no, exactly. You know what? And she also, when she was HOH, she threw me up on the block when Tiffany hadn't even seen the block yet. What was up with that? Big D, though, is going to be like, guys, I'm just having a really hard time right now because I have to be the one to vote Kylan out, and I'm having a really hard time with this. Okay? And Oz's like, X, you see this guy? X, just use the veto on me. I'll make the decision. Kai, you're out. I'm good. I'll make it. And Big D's like, well, but I mean, I do want something on my resume, you know? And she's like, no, seriously though, if you are having a hard time with this, I will take this for you. I will go. I have no deals with this guy. I will send that man home. And he's like, yeah, but if I do want to make a move, if I get the final, if I am lucky enough to make the final two, Ozza, I do want to have made a move because, and maybe I won't make the final two. You know, you could always take X could always take you. And Ozza's like, who am I, Sarah Beth? I'm not taking Xavier. Xavier knows this. Xavier's like, yeah, Big D, we're taking you. And Big D's like, yeah, okay. I don't want to sound like a wimp, you know, like not being able to make the move myself. Like I have to have Ozza do it for me. I don't know. So they're talking about that. But it's hot tub time. We got to move on. We're speeding through this day already, by the way. This is like, it's like late night already. There wasn't a lot that happened prior to this. But X and Ozza go out into the hot tub, which leaves Kylan there with Big D. And Kylan's there, he's washing some dishes. And Big D comes over and Kylan's like, I'm stressed. Big D's like, yeah, we're all stressed. Kylan's like, yeah? Big D's like, oh, I mean, I get you're probably more stressed than the rest of us. You know, I get that. Kylan's like, yeah. Hey, Big D, remember when you were stressed for like 5 minutes after I used the veto on X because you went on the block? This is like that, but for 5 days instead of 5 minutes. Okay. Kylan's like, I don't know. I just feel like if I wanted to do things the easy way, I could have done things differently last week. That's my only thing right now is that like, if I could have done things the easy way, I could have done things differently, you know? Like there are some people that measure the best game just by getting to the end, but like I wanted to do things the honorable way, you know, like the right way. It's like, damn it. Like, I wish I was one of those people that takes things the easy way and didn't give an F about people, about other people, or like doesn't give an F about the principles and values and stuff, you know? Like, I wish I was one of those people that just didn't care about people and values and all that, you know? It would be a lot easier. Big D's like, hold on, Kylan. What exactly do you think was your alternative path here? And he's like, I could have taken a shot at Xavier last week. You know, I could have done that. I could have. There were lots of things. You know, lots of people that I took out along the way. And Big D's like, no. Tiffany and Hannah would never have worked with you anyway. And he's like, yeah. I mean, I still would have taken Tiffany out, but I could have maybe done something last week. I had the opportunity to make a move. And I just feel like, you know, why are you even arguing with me right now, Big D? Like, I just feel like I've done so much for you in this game. And for you to even be like questioning, like, what are you doing? Like what's going on? Like, I mean, not to discredit, you know, what you've done and you've done plenty in this game. But like, I've really like, you know, I've been so low. I did not take the easy path. I've been loyal and I've been honorable. Big D's like, hold on, Kylan. I just to give it back to you a little bit here. You know, there was no way I was ever going to go home. Like, I set myself up like that. Like, I did my own, you know, work to make sure that I wouldn't go home no matter what happened. So I didn't need you in this game, essentially, is what he's saying. Like, regardless of what you did. And Kylan's like, yeah, I just feel like, it would be a big resume move for you to, like, if you took me out, like, that would be a big move for you in the jury. And like taking Azza out is not a big move. So, I could see why you would be tempted to do that. But like, again, I just thought, I play with my heart. I figured you play with your heart too. We're honorable people. Big D, he's having a lot of trouble with this conversation. He's not loving it. And it's not going particularly well. So in the meantime, Xavier and Oz are out in the hot tub. And there again, she's asking him more questions about like like what went on in the game. And this is very funny to me because you usually get these kinds of conversations in the end game where there are people who got kind of dragged to the end game, and people who paved their way to the end game. And the people that got dragged there often are like asking questions about like, how did we get here? I think the classic example of this, the first real example of this, is all the way back in Big Brother 3 when Jason and Danielle are sitting Lisa down in the final 3 and explaining to her everything that they did to get to where they were. And it's great. It's one of those situations you usually get stuff like that. People want to talk about what they've done. And so Ozza and people who weren't in on things are curious about how things were done and why. So Ozza's asking Xavier about what happened in the game. And she's like, I'm just, one thing is like, I don't get why like we kept Derek X around as long as we did. And so the problem here is that Azza is trying to ask Xavier as though Xavier was the driving force in the game. And Xavier's trying to answer like he was, but he doesn't actually know the answers to these questions. And so Xavier's response here is, well, we kept him around as a shield. As a shield. We did that on purpose. I did that on purpose. Like, for example, when I dropped from the wall, I knew that he was going to take a shot at Christian when I dropped from the wall. No, he didn't. And I actually kind of loved that he did that. No, he didn't. Because I knew that with Christian gone, like then it would really work out well because of how all the pairs linked up. Yeah, that's what Tiffany's had. And so he's trying to explain like as though he he had anything to do with any of that. Like he wasn't fighting tooth and nail for Christian to stay. Like he wasn't trying to make a deal with DX after he dropped from the wall about protecting the Kings. Like he didn't like throw a tantrum about Derek X taking Christian out and saying he was gonna get Derek X back. Like he intentionally kept Derek X around a bit longer. Like he wasn't trying to make it happen sooner. And look, let me say, I love this if he is intentionally lying. I love a player that pretends they're better than they are in order to, pump up their jury potential. I hope that's what's going on, given what Xavier tends to say in the diary room. I'm not sure, but, it's funny. Xavier's then going to talk through the decision to get rid of Kyland some more. And I mean, this is just like this whole day is just, I mean, this whole Final Four is just so ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous situation with ridiculous players. He's going to talk to Azza about how he says, look, it's a weird spot because I know that Kyland is going to take me to the final two. He is that player. I don't doubt it at all. Taking out Kyland is not for me. It's for Big D because I want Big D to get that 50K. He says to Azza. Because if I kept Kyland in the game, I'd be guaranteeing myself final two. But instead, I'm taking Kyland out so that Big D can be guaranteed final two instead of me. Because Kyland would take me and leave Big D down. But if it's us three, me, you, Azza, and Big D, then we're both taking Big D to the final two. So at least Big D gets to that final two. And she's like, yeah, Exactly. That's exactly my thought. And that's why I'm like, Big D, you need to drop this man. And he's like, yes, exactly. And she's like, well, and he says, but the heart wants what the heart wants sometimes. He's fallen for Kyland and he just needs to drop him. And she's like, yes, that's what I've been saying. It's with me, like, you're great, Xavier, nice guy, I like you, but I'm not taking you to the final two. What is happening? Who are these people? I don't think I saw a single game talk yesterday that wasn't like in the land of absurdity. Anyway, Big D is then going to talk to Azza a little. I mean, Kyland talks to Azza in the hot tub as well. They go over the game as well. Kyland has better answers than Xavier does because he had a little bit more knowledge of what was happening in the game. But Big D is going to talk to Azza in the bedroom, and he's complaining some more about having to be the one to take Kyland out of the game. He's like, he was just making me feel so bad, and he was just talking to me about it, and he was like, oh, you're gonna be a bad person. He says, Azza, am I a bad person for sending him home? Like, no. It's just like he keeps saying he put in so much work. Azza like interjects, like interrupts, like, so did Tiffany. Tiffany put in a lot of work and strategy, and Shada too. Like, I know. It's like he's just gonna look at me like I'm a bad person, like I'm not a good person. I just feel like, well, the jury won't respect me because I broke a deal. I broke my deal that I made with him, I was like, look, I keep telling you, if you want to be able to keep your deal, have Xavier use the veto on me, and I will use it. I will evict him. I have no deals with this man. He offered me a final three and I declined. I will evict him. He's like, yeah, but then maybe I should make a big move. But they might say I broke a deal. And like he did, he controls the jury. He's going to be able to tell like every single person like what way to vote, and he won everything. He's done so much. And Oz is like, hell, even production's tired of him winning everything. Sorry, they're gonna call me out. Woo. We knew that. I didn't know they knew that. Big D's like, yeah, and Kyland even told me that getting him out would be like a big game move, and getting rid of you wouldn't be a big game move, Azza. So I'm just trying to figure out like what looks better, like me sending Kai out or you sending Kai out. And they're just gonna continue to yeah. Final conversation of the night. It's gonna be with Kyland and the cameras. He's up in the have not room again. He's very disappointed in himself. I'm very disappointed in myself. This is the most disappointed in myself I've ever been in my life. Well, no. Just in the house. In the house, it's like the house is your whole reality. I've been more disappointed in myself outside of this reality. But inside this reality, I've never been more disappointed in myself for not winning that veto. Like, everybody talked about like, oh, you can't, X is going to cut you, but they didn't warn me. They warned me about X, but they didn't warn me about myself. They didn't warn me about myself losing that veto. They didn't. Shame on them. Says, I could have easily won this game. I could have easily won this game by taking X out last week, but that's just not the game I wanted to play. I wanted to play this game to prove that I could. Hold on. I need to get more into. I wanted to play this game and prove that I could win the game by telling the truth and being loyal, you know? Like even bigger truths. Like what I just did. Like I just told Big D that it would be a big move, a big game move to take me out. Like that telling him that would be stupid by traditional game rules. I'm not a traditional game rules player, is the implication. But I didn't want to do that. I don't want to take advantage of people when they don't know things. Yeah, we're just going to sit on that for a second. I don't want to take advantage of people when they don't know things. Yeah, that. Yep. Okay. I'm glad we sat on that. I remember asking people, he says, if I was too nice to play this game. Maybe I am. Maybe I am too nice to play this game. Maybe not, but I don't know. Yep. Okay. Just got to sit on that one as well. You know, I had a lot of people tell me I couldn't trust Xavier, and I told every single one of them that they were wrong. I decided that they were wrong. I don't know if people would look at me like I'm dumb, or maybe they'll look at me like I'm smart and honorable and respectable, or maybe naive and foolish. But you know what? I don't regret making this decision because I did the right thing given what I knew. You know, in here, you know what? Because Xavier, he's got to do the right thing. Xavier has to know how important it is to see how the winner of the season is looked at. You know? Hey, Xavier's family, shout out to Xavier's family. Xavier's family, this is a message for you. I hope that you raised Xavier to understand how important it is that this season's winner be representative of a lot of different characteristics besides simply a will to win by any means necessary. I hope that you raised him that way. But it is just a game, and maybe some people admire that play. Even by somebody that definitely doesn't have to play that way. You know? I'm a little scared that all the people that told me not to do this, maybe they were right. But, you know, I did tell him I wouldn't vote for him. And I'll try to get other people to not vote for him if it's the case that he cuts me. So that is something to be considered. Something to be considered. So watch out, Xavier. Kylan's coming for you in that jury. He's gonna make sure Big D wins. It's like I just can't picture Xavier not wanting to get to the end with me, like last season, like Tyler and Cody. Like I was devastated. Oh, I was devastated that Tyler and Cody couldn't get to the end together. Like, what was up with that? Like, why did Cody chose Nicole over Tyler? Like, why? I don't know what happened there. I'm going to have to watch it back, I guess. I don't even like I don't have to comment. I feel like there it is. You have it. This is how Kylan's game dies. Not with what's the quote? Not with a whimper, but with applause. I don't know. Sorry, I failed the quote. Anyway, I saw somebody on Reddit saying this he perfectly Vegeta'd himself. This is him allowing Cell to become perfect Cell, and now he's screwed. But that's what we have. I mean, Kyland is all but definitely going home. Now, there is, not with a bang, but with a whimper. Yeah, something like that. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time for Kylan to theoretically change Big D's mind. I still don't really understand why Xavier's not just using the veto on Azza. But I also don't really know why Xavier's willingly letting Kylan go over Azza, who's telling him to his face that she's not going to take him. I mean, at this point, he has to. Like, he's shown enough doubt that like you have to let Kylan go. But there's just so much going on here. It's wild. So we'll see what happens, but this very much does look like the end of Kylan's game, and he is of course shocked and saddened by the immorality of it. So that's what I have for you today. Do you have any questions for me as we wrap this up here? And we'll see. Use it on Azza. Make a deal with him to take him to Final 2. What is he doing? Right? At least try. Tammy wants to know, do I think Big D can actually vote Kylan out to his face? Live in the living room. I think he can. I think he will. But he might cry, which would be, interesting. How much do we think the jury will make fun of Kylan when he gets there? I don't know. I don't know that they will, to be honest. I feel like it will probably be more serious than that. If Big D cuts Xavier at 3, does he beat Azza? Honestly, maybe. Yeah, I think he could. But he'd have to win, and he'd have to want to win, or want to cut Xavier at least, which neither of those things seem very plausible at the moment. Melinda, does Kylan feel foolish or dumb in this game? You know what? I think he does, and I really wish that Kylan had Kylan there to tell him that nobody should feel foolish or dumb in this game. It's I think it would be a very comforting thing for somebody to say that to him right now, just as it was for all of the people that he said it to. Lucky wants to know, is there a chance Azza takes Xavier to the Final 2? Well, according to her, no. I think that if Xavier worked on her enough in the right way, I think he could get her to. I mean, this is Azza we're talking about. But he's not really trying. And she is telling him she's not going to take him. So something would have to change. I mean, that would definitely be like a big test of Xavier. I guess not even. I mean, it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be hard. Big D has told Azza he's cutting her, then went back on it, then continues to tell her that it's a tough decision. And like Xavier really can't find a way in there. Like, all right. I mean, she's literally the person that's been like, I'm fine losing to you guys in the Final 3. Do I think Kylan can still work on Big D? He will definitely try. His current tactics are not super effective at this time. And I'm not sure that they will continue to be. I think, he will need to have like a heart-to-heart with Big D. Do any of them know that Kylan won't actually go to jury house? Oh, yeah, that's true. I mean, Kylan will go straight to the round table. Do they know that? I haven't heard them talk about that, but they probably don't know. All right. I think that's pretty much what we've got here for questions. Let's see. All right. Yeah, I think that's about what we got. All right. So that's what we have for you. It was really game update. Kylan's on his way out the door. And then mostly just a absurd. This is like again the land of absurdity here. In Big Brother land, in the final four of Big Brother land. But we are looking now at a final three of Xavier, Azah, and Big D, where Azah and Xavier are likely going to be competing in part 3 of the final 3 HOH. This is actually pretty interesting. It's probably the first time. Let me think. I think it will, assuming Azah and Xavier are in part 3 of the final 3 HOH, I believe it will be the first time since Big Brother 18 where both of the players competing in part 3 of the final 3 HOH are not planning to take each other to the end. They're both planning to take, I mean, even just one of them, because 19, Josh and Paul taking each other, Tyler and Casey, Jackson and Holly. Of course, Cody cut Nicole. What am I thinking? I was thinking about Nicole was going to take Cody. So it's the first time that they're both not planning to take each other since, and I guess Big Brother 18. Yes, this is what happens when I try to come up with stats on the fly. Big Brother 17 was probably the last time they were both planning to take somebody else. Boom. All right. Anyway, that's what we have for you guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Yes, I did see the Prettium tweet as well, that this is the first time since Dr. Will that somebody makes the final 3 without winning a single competition. So, before you start criticizing Big D, think about that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong, later today to play some Among Us, and also probably to go over. So I have not actually looked at the Survivor cast. Survivor is going to premiere on Wednesday, before the Big Brother episode on Wednesday. It's going to be a late one. And I have not actually looked at the cast, so I'm thinking I might go live on Twitch today to do a live kind of reaction to the Survivor cast in prep for tonight. I've got a Survivor draft that I'm going to be a part of. So if you are interested in any Survivor content, I will also be streaming on Twitch during Survivor episodes this season. If you want to watch those with me, I will be live watching the Big Brother episode as well. And then I will be playing some Among Us today as well on Twitch. Lots of things happening over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taran Armstrong. You can also find me on Twitter at Armstrong Taran if you want to see my, comforting messages to Kylan as he is evicted. I really just want him to make sure that he knows he should not feel foolish. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me here today. And I will, of course, be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern to update you on everything that happens today on the Big Brother 23 live feeds. And I'll see you next time.